fix it if we have to.
Well, it tells you a lot that, pardon me, when you look at kind of the games that people talk about being the best game or game of the year. I don't watch a whole bunch of like lists of people's favorite games of whatever.
Right.
Um, but two people that I saw their lists of actually that are on YouTube. One of them is Jared, Pro Jared, and
Yeah.
the other one's the Completionist. They both had the same number one game of last year with all of the big major like next gen whatever.
Hmm.
Number one game of the year, Shovel Knight.
Yep.
And I mean, I played Shovel Knight on stream. Shovel Knight is freaking great.
Yeah.
But you look at all those, like, in the last few years, all these, like, game of the years. Think of how many games like Braid and Limbo and Meat Boy and Bastion and all of these little tiny games that have, like, no flaws to them at all because they're just little games and aren't super long and have super big development and are produced by these little tiny companies with, like,
Right.
one or two people. Oh, these are suddenly game of the year all over the place and everybody's favorite game. And you wonder, why is EA bothering to make a $300 million fifth Battlefield? Or why is Activision making another Call of Duty with all this money when really it's just, like making a new Madden game? It makes you think that maybe, I don't know, maybe things should shift.
And I think the answer to that is because their AAA titles are going to sell millions of billions of trillions of gazillions of copies like they always do. And they're going to sell that more. Like I know on a lot of people's list, Child of Light
Yeah,
is
that's another really good example.
is game of the year. And I've got Child of Light and I want to play it. But any of those big name sites or anything like that, did they name Child of Light? No, they might have gave it an announcement in their Game of the Year list, but in the end, it never was named Game of the Year. Shovel Knight,
Careful with that though, because a lot of, especially if you're looking at places on the internet, any place, and I'm talking just about any place, including IGN, including Kotaku, including most of those what you call game journalism sites, they give all of these like 8.5 and 8 and 8.5 out of 10 reviews to all these games that are exactly the same. Like Call of Duty games, still for whatever reason, it's like, oh, all these people are rating Call of Duty 8 out of 10. Well, that's because they get a free copy of it from the company, and the company will send them extras of this. Whereas it's like the Oscars, to be perfectly honest with you. And I mean, the Oscars are going on now, and I don't know if anybody cares about them or not. Probably not. But there are so many movies that don't get nominated for Oscars, not because they don't deserve it or that they're not heard of or seen, but because there's no budget put down to advertise for them. Because that's something that we don't see, but people that are members of the Academy or like the Screen Actors Guild, they get their like mailbox bombarded with shit.
right?
And things like when, and I mean even little movies are guilty of it. Like when Little Miss Sunshine got nominated for Best Picture, they gave out little toy yellow Volkswagen buses with the characters in them,
Right.
with their screeners. When Juno got nominated, they gave out burger phones. Like even little movies like that, to get nominated, you have to play this game of spending all this money on advertising
Right.
and shit. Whereas it's the same thing with games. If you have the most advertising, you are going to, chances are, get the masses behind your game. Whereas,
Well,
you've never seen an ad for Shovel Knight in your life unless it's on Steam
exactly.
or YouTube. But because, well, they've got money for Kevin Spacey, and they've got money to put advertisements on, or they've got money to put like, what was that the last commercial for Call of Duty last year where it was like Kobe Bryant and Jonah Hill and
Oh, right. And it was
Eva Mendes and all the celebrities that were like in Call of Duty.
right. And they were trying to have it so that the viewer could, what's the word I'm looking for? Relate.
Yeah,
The
it's
viewer
like
could relate to celebrities. So, if Jonah Hill plays Call of Duty, then I can play Call of Duty, right?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
the same idea as using Mr. T to sell the Night Elf Mohawk.
Yeah, and it's funny to talk about a movie again, but in the Golden Globes, when George Clooney was given his achievement award, one line he said in it was that the big production movies do fine. It's the little guys that need help.
Yep.
And I mean that goes the same with video games, with anything else like that. Is the Call of Duties, the Grand Theft Autos, the Mario Karts, the Dragon Ages, they're gonna do fine. But it's those little guys, the Shovel Knights, the Child of Lights, those indie games that not a lot of people are hearing about. They're the ones that kind of need the promotion, because people are always going to go buy a Call of Duty game just because of its history and what it is, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole. That's why the Game of the Year thing's always interesting, and I'd much rather hear about someone's personal Game of the Year than what a website does as Game of the Year.
yeah, and I mean, you know what? There's websites are always going to have viewers, and they're always going to want to. People are always going to read stuff, but at the end of the day, it's yeah. I mean, I think IGN gave their Game of the Year Dragon Age, and Dragon Age is a great game. I'm playing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better or worse than some of those other ones? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I still think that a game like Shovel Knight, a game like Child of Light are, excuse me, in my personal opinion, stronger just because of what they have to work with and where they're at with funding and advertising and how good of a product. Like Child of Light is probably one of the best RPGs to come out in a long time.
Yeah.
And
I really want to play it.
yeah, and I'll be wanting to play it soon again. But going back to, again, I talked about my most anticipated game of 2015. What game are you looking forward to the most in 2015 to get your hands on and play?
I mean, I tip my hand saying I'm really interested in No Man's Sky, but I know I'm not alone in that one. I think a lot of people are interested in it. I don't know that we've seen enough to really make me think like, okay, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But to me, it's interesting enough that it will probably be the straw that breaks the back and makes me break down and buy a PS4.
And you know what? I think that's what's so great about a game like No Man's Sky is there's so many questions right now.
Yeah.
It got debuted E3 2014. They showed clips of this character on a planet with creatures and plants and colors and getting in a spaceship and taking off, landing on another planet and exploring again. And so that kind of first originally had everybody go, well, what is this game all about? And then the blogging and the interviewing and the reviews and this and that, and then another trailer would come out where something a little different. But they've never. It's. I mean, even at E3 this year, they showed more about No Man's Sky, but they've never really talked about what is No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
They've. Sorry, go ahead.
So I'm interested to see what will come of that.
Yeah.
Being more. Apparently, I'm really interested in Barbie's Ocean Discovery, which chat really wants us to talk about.
I've heard good things. Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's not Yankin' McCrank. Although Goat Simulator, best game of the year. I have yet to play Goat Simulator.
Yeah, I don't have it either, but I've watched people play Goat Simulator, and
it looks utterly ridiculous.
It just looks amazing.
However, every time I seem to open up Steam, there's another like ridiculous simulator, and I think that probably needs to stop because it's just a bad trend.
Well, simulator games are almost like the flavor of the week. It's like, oh, okay, today you're going to be dishwashing simulator. Next week you're going to be garbage pickup simulator. This week you're going to be factory working simulator. And yeah,
exactly. I think the one, and actually something that I would like to download. And again, it's a game that I haven't played through, and I need to play through, but would fully play through the original and then download the DLC. Is I want to call it? Is it Beyond the Sea, which is the BioShock Infinite DLC?
Burial at Sea, I believe.
Burial at Sea.
Yeah.
That's the one. So is probably the thing this year that I most want to get my hands on right away.
Right.
Even so, that's not really answering the
Phrasing.
question because it's not a 2015 game. But
Mhm.
that's probably the thing that I want to play the most, which means I'm going to have to finish off Bioshock Infinite as
Right.
well, which I may do that on stream possibly. But that's probably the one because I love. You know how much I love the original Bioshock.
Right. Which actually, I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Bioshock, not for stream, but for YouTube.
YouTube.
And
And Grover's really bad at Bioshock,
Yeah.
so you go and make fun of him.
and not only am I going to be doing it for youtube.com/terriblegamingbros, but I'm also going to be doing it for our buddy Thor. He does his Broadcast Podcast
Okay.
Network. Peace Monk says I'm coming in clear, but you're a little low, so maybe I'll
get a little closer to the mic. That's going to be on my end. Probably.
I'll just turn you up or turn you on, Kinky.
Sex bomb, sex bomb.
Okay, there he should.
Baby, you can turn me on and up.
See, like that sounds. I don't know how that sounds, but it sounds loud to me. But maybe that's just me.
That's okay. Let us know, Peace Monks.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be a little bit better.
So yeah, I'm gonna be doing a playthrough of Bioshock, and it'll be episodic. Probably it'll be like 400 episodes because it'll take me forever to play. But yeah, and
Yeah, I won't rant about how much I love Bioshock. I'll save that for another day. But
right.
I love me some Bioshock. So I need to play Infinite and play Burial. See, that's probably
And I need to finish Infinite because I streamed it long ago when I streamed
ago.
on my personal stream when Terrible Gaming Bros didn't even exist. I don't think. I got probably 2/3 of the way through it, so I definitely need to finish it as well.
but it was but a glimmer in the eyes of our creator.
Exactly.
Does that mean that we're the mother and father of this podcast?
Well,
And
mean,
which is which?
technically.
You decide. Oh, you should type. Oh, music playlist. Yes, Peace Monks. I will. One thing I did do, again on my own channel a few weeks ago was I have this thing with my friends where I do like an annual favorite songs of the past year lists.
Which actually-
lists and how much I hated them.
Which actually I like to call the 50 songs nobody's heard of this year.
You heard of 2 of them?
Dose.
Actually, probably more than that. But
And maybe that
you
just
only,
means I'm
you
not...
only turned in for the last 10 songs.
Well, I didn't even realize this, but I didn't even follow him on Twitch, so I didn't get the notification. I knew he was going live that night, but I didn't know when. And then lo and behold, I think I got there for like song 8 or something, and yeah. Sorry.
Peace Monks, what I'll do is I'll send you a message, like on Twitch with the JPEG of the list because I'm gonna redo the list on my Facebook page, but that's just my personal one. So I will send you that list so that you have that list to listen to tunes.
Right.
That'll be awesome. I will do that. If I don't do that, pester me and remind me and theoretically punch me in the face.
So, again, for anyone who's watching or that'll be watching it later on YouTube, we are the Terrible Gaming Brothers. My name is Grover. Over there to my, I guess it's screen right, is Battle Flag. And if you want to give us a follow, again, it's twitch.tv/TerribleGamingBros. And on YouTube, youtube.com/TerribleGamingBros. And on Twitter, we are at TerribleGamingB. Because
Definitely
that
check
is-
us out on both of those. The Twitter will tell you whenever we go live. YouTube we upload some clips to. Most recently, we uploaded a lovely little clip of let's just say of a deer hunt gone delightfully wrong.
Deer Hunt Slinky, Call of Duty Edition. Yeah.
H1Z1. Yeah, but anytime we do a something like a specialty video on here, we'll also upload it to YouTube, and we'll also make sure that that you get this podcast.
Podcast.
This
so-
part of it.
Battle Flag, I have another question for you. We talked about Game of the Years, most hype games, this and that. We kind of know each other's tastes in video games, but I want to know from you, what is one... It can be a genre or a franchise or a game that you wish you were better at, that you want to be at that pro caliber level of. what kind of gaming is it? Is it a RPG, FPS? Is it this? Is it that? What do you wish you were better at in video games?
I wish I was better at. Uh, I mean I'm okay at first person shooters. I just don't play enough of them to be really good. Um, Side scrollers I'm mildly okay at. Um, Fighting games I'm usually okay at, except I have realized that without a GameCube controller, I'm fucking terrible at Smash Brothers. It's like I need to buy that GameCube adapter for the Wii U
Right.
because I was only ever used to playing Smash Brothers on the GameCube controller, so I need to get that. Although it's horseshit, don't have those in the stores anymore, and people are like triple charging them on eBay.
I think you can get them on Amazon for like $25 or something like that. So
Yeah, I might have to try.
I'll
And
look
do
for
that, but
it.
so maybe that. I like puzzle stuff. I usually do pretty good with puzzle games like Portal and Tetris and whatnot. I
So basically, the moral of the story is that Battle Flag is just
I'm
average
amazing
at
at everything.
absolutely everything.
Yeah, exactly. RPGs I'm usually pretty good at. That's they say even ones like Fallout 3 where it's a little bit different. I usually still do
Right.
pretty good at. I would say, and
Excuse me.
I don't play it often enough, but I enjoy watching the hot, like especially worlds for League of Legends.
Hmm.
And I do wish that I was better at League of Legends or that type of. I don't play any other MOBAs at the moment.
Right.
I've only played League of Legends. Because I like watching the guys that are really good in the competitions, especially the bigger competitions.
Right.
I guess I would say I would like to be better at that because I watch them and think, oh, okay, but I can't translate that into being that good myself.
Fair enough.
I also my main my main is an AD carry and it's Ash. That's also something I'd like to remedy because basically Ash is a very easy AD carry to count.
So what you're telling me is that you're a little salty that you're not Asian.
We'll go with that. Salty, maybe a little salty, maybe a little soy. You never know.
Ooh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Take the racism
Right.
level to the next step.
Racist humor, ladies and gentlemen. That's not racist humor. I didn't say rice.
You said
I just did.
you said a compliment of rice, and then applied it after with rice. Yes. Terrible Gaming Brothers. Racism one day at a time.
Now I have a feeling I know what the answer is if you answer this question, but let's pose the same question right back to you.
Yeah.
And let's already assume that even though I'm bad at Smash, I'm pretty sure you're worse.
I'm better at betting on Smash than I am at playing Smash. I bought Smash when it came out. Played it, and then discovered that you could spectate other people playing online and that you could bet on it. And I got really good at betting on it and made a shit ton of gold. But I don't really know what you do with the gold. So, anyways, yada yada. But
no.
oh no, I think it's pretty simple for me, and that's Call of Duty.
I
And
figured it was going to be first-person shooters because I have watched you play some first-person shooters, and it makes me angry, and I'm not that good at them.
I'm
But like, I remember the day watching you first play BioShock, and I've never wanted to grab the controller away from anybody so badly in my life.
I don't know what it is, but give me a mouse and a keyboard, and I'm decent at first-person shooters. Like I played a lot of Titanfall when it came out. I played Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 2 on PC.
Yeah.
But I then bought Call of Duty Ghosts for PS4, and I now own Advanced War. And I am so fucking afraid to go into multiplayer. It's like it's literally it's an issue. I don't know what it is, but I played one game of multiplayer Ghosts and went like 1-13. I didn't by the time I would get the controls around this and that, and then I watched these fucking people on Twitch do it. These amazing Call of Duty players, and I feel like I would enjoy the game a lot more if I was good at actually playing it. And I'm I always joke that I have the world first for all of the Call of Duty campaigns because I'm the only person that plays the Call of Duty campaign. But
You know what?
I
That was when I got Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare for Xbox 360.
Call of Duty 4.
I played the campaign. The campaign was really quite good, if not a little short, but pretty good. And I played maybe half a dozen rounds of online before I realized, like, oh, yeah, I don't like being yelled at by 12-year-olds. And I was a teacher.
Yeah, but see if you were
Yelled at a
if you were
12-year-old
good
for
at
a
it,
living.
if you were good at it, then you could yell at that 12-year-old and tell him that you fucked his mother. And
Better things to do, like
and sit
actually attempting to fuck their
and,
mother.
and sit on his face and in game and tell him that he sucks donkey balls and whatever. But yeah, I mean, the Modern Warfare franchise is great, and I encourage everyone to go buy. I mean, you can get them for cheap right now. You can get, if you buy
Play
Call
the
of Duty
fir-
4,
play the
Modern
first.
Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and play that campaign storyline through. The Modern Warfare storyline is great in my opinion.
Play the first one.
Honestly,
That's
all
it.
three of them are great. You haven't played 2 and 3, so you don't know. But
No, I played two.
did you?
I played two's campaign. I didn't
Two,
like it.
2 and 3. 3 is good. Black Ops, they were okay. Ghost campaign was eh. I'm going through the Modern Warfare or Advanced Warfare campaign, and it's better than the last few have been. But yeah, hands down, I would want to be better at Call of Duty games. I don't know why,
Fair enough.
but that and that's, I think it's controller based FPSs. And when I do my playthrough on BioShock, it'll be on PC, so I feel like I'm going to be better at it. But I got
See,
I got decent.
I see, and I'm used to controller stuff. I can't do
Right.
mouse and keyboard. But again, I play very few PC games. So
Right, and I never was a PC gamer until a couple years ago when I bought a gaming PC. But
that's not true. You played Diablo for years.
yeah, but not as much as I invested time in consoles. Like I played Diablo 2 for a little bit, like in late high school.
But you also had GameCube and everything else. So,
Yeah, I had a
That makes-
I had a
that makes
PlayStation 1, a GameCube, but there was a time period in my life, probably from like just getting out of college until about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, where I really didn't do a lot of gaming. I kind of went on a break. I had a Wii, so I played some Wii stuff.
You had a Wii and a WoW account.
Wii and a WoW. No, I didn't. This was before I had started playing WoW, but and then like 2011-ish, I got into World of Warcraft.
2015-ish, you got out of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's exciting news. I'm quitting World of Warcraft. It was kind of one of those decisions that I don't like the time that it takes up to do something like raid. I love raiding this and that, but the expectations to invest 4 nights a week, 4 hours a day, it blows. Especially when you want to do other stuff like
I
a gaming
could never do
podcast.
that. I just I don't.
And I mean that can lead me into my next question here is Shern's saying no, don't quit, because Shern actually was in my raid group. But my next question for you is addiction in video games. I see different levels. I mean, there was a story about a person who died because they spent a couple days in a row in an internet cafe. I think it was in Taiwan or somewhere like that.
That was a long time ago.
No, this was one that like this week or last week happened. There's been stories of people's babies that have died because the parents neglected them because they spent all day at these gaming cafes, and I mean Asia's huge for these internet cafes. And I don't know if that's because they aren't able to afford internet at home, or the internet at home is crap, or it's cheap. I don't know what the reason is, but and then I think there's the other side of the spectrum where the hobby addiction side of it, where you aren't gaming 24/7, but when you have free time, would you rather play a sport, read a book, or play a video game. And a lot of the times, I, I own a dog, and I'm taking my dog out for walks a lot of the time. But there's times too
Sure.
where it's
The
like
terrible gaming
the
puppy.
terrible gaming puppy who's actually on vacation at the spa, which is our parents' house. It's actually like a vacation for me too. But there's some times where it's like you just want a game, and I know it's like your girlfriend might break up with you, but your PlayStation never will. And I remember a good quote from, and I'll always remember this, is Day9, who is a very well known person in the StarCraft world, and he's a Twitch live streamer, and he does a daily show, and it was Day9 number 300, and it was basically his story of getting into gaming and growing up and this and that. And he, at one point in his life, his girlfriend broke up with him, and he spent a day kind of being all sad and mopey and this and that. And then he kind of sat down and thought about it and said, I've never finished Metal Gear Solid 2 before, and literally went on a binge playing this game. And I think we all can relate to that side of it. The binge gaming. Again, it's not that it's an unhealthy addiction. To some people it is, but can you remember in whether it's your childhood or in recent years, where you've found yourself thinking about a game and having...
You're asking me about my childhood as if you weren't really there for all of my childhood.
The viewers don't know that. The viewers cannot read into our childhood minds and go, "Wow, they played Final Fantasy a lot as a kid."
I know what you mean. It's just the way you said
Yeah.
it.
So what?
You're a child.
Well, let me maybe consider it as of late. Then is what games as of late have you found yourself kind of getting that addiction twitch in your temple that you've had to play, and it's like you're at work and you're thinking, "Man, I can't wait to get home, grab myself a beer, and play this game."
I don't get that a whole lot, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, there's part of and to talk about kind of another part of what you were talking about at the same time, about addiction to video games and sort of having that always be on your mind. Before I do what I do now for work, which is not really here nor there, but before
He's a hooker.
this, I was a teacher, and I taught junior and senior high. And one thing that I noticed, especially when I was substitute teaching, because you go around all these schools and you go there frequently and you get to know some of the kids across a lot of different schools and some different age groups. And, there's always kids, you could tell and pick up on kids that were video gamer kids. And, everybody likes video games in one way or another. Everybody will, even if it's just simple, like, oh, there's an arcade and I'll throw a quarter in Pac-Man or something. Everybody enjoys a little bit of that every now and then. Some people will get more into it like you and I are. But there are kids that they talk about video games. They go home and play video games with their friends. They go back to school the next day and talk about video games again. And that's all they talk about. And that comes across as worse to me than somebody that does nothing but talk about, say, sports, or somebody that does nothing but talk about books or anything else. Because at least when you're talking about something like sports or books, there's some sort of real life root into that.
Right.
Like when you talk about somebody that's obsessed with, say, the Harry Potter books. Well, part of the Harry Potter books is that they're written by a real person and they're released in reality and in real life. And you talk about, oh, I'm going to go and dress up and get in line for the new Harry Potter book, which is weird, but whatever. But it's rooted in real life, in reality. When you have this group of kids that will do nothing but talk about their favorite place to snipe from on a Call of Duty map, there's no relation to real life within that. And it comes across as very, very, I don't know, it seems just sort of like and you know, you don't necessarily knock kids for liking fantasy novels or comic books or anything like that, but even comic books have a root in that they're telling a story. It's like a, you know, traditional stories told in a unique way, and superheroes are there as an extension of personalities. Like when all you talk about is how you pwned these noobs last night shooting, you know, and I don't know, it makes you come across as really dumb and oblivious to the outside world. And that's the worst part of it. Is that like I would ask kids in class like about something that was going on, and you know, people had no idea that it was going on, and not little things, like it was like a Canadian election was happening and somebody was like, there's an election going on. There's election signs all over town, and like, oh, whatever. And this is somebody that they just talk about playing Halo every day.
Right. Well, and
So
it's almost like a lot of people are so out of touch with pop culture too. It's like not only pop culture, but current events and news.
Current
And
events, yeah.
like let's say somebody has no idea that several airplanes have gone missing over the past couple of years, or that country Z is at war, or this terrorist attack, or whatever it might be. But when, like, I remember somebody that I know, I would make a comment about a current event that happened, and the response would be, "What?" And it's
Well, yeah,
like,
and
how do you not did you turn your TV on? Did you click on Google? What are you doing? Yeah.
like get like even just leave the game and go to Google and look at the front page of MSN.com. News will happen, and oh, things are going on. Maybe I'll click on that, or at least look at the headline and say, oh, something is going on that's important. Or I know I know you went to BlizzCon a couple of years ago, and I think you probably saw that in a good quantity of, you know, group of people, especially when it comes to something like World of Warcraft being an MMO. That's the kind of thing that people can really, you know, just lose their attention into and have that be only what they know and talk about.
Not only that, but there's been instances where people's marriages have crumbled, relationships have crumbled.
Oh, yeah.
People have lost their jobs. So for the past 9 years, I was 9 years. I was a professional golfer. I worked at a golf facility, and I found out probably 2 years ago that one of the members, who's in his early 50s, plays World of Warcraft and is obsessed with it. And
Ooh.
I'm not going to say names, but
No, don't say their name, but text me later.
yeah, and his boss also was a member at the golf course as well. And so I didn't find out from him, but I found out from his boss. There would be times where he wouldn't show up for work until noon because he slept in, because he was up super late playing World of Warcraft. And days where he didn't go into work at all, or was sick, and this isn't a 14-year-old who's going to school. This is someone who's in their 50s, and a game like that has taken over their life. And I think there's two sides to addiction. And the one side is, like you mentioned, everything about this game is my life. I eat, sleep, breathe game X. And then I think the other side of the addiction, where it's kind of the lighter side, where it's like, this game, I love this game, or this game is frustrating, I'm going to beat it, I'm going to invest some time into play this game. But it comes to an end. It's a very short addiction to it, I guess. And I've felt that way in games, and I've talked to you about this as one game that I'm not going to say I was addicted to, but felt like I needed to complete, was Dragon Age 2. And Dragon Age 2 on the Dragon Age scale was the worst of the games. But
Was it Dragon Age scale?
yeah.
I
gotta be
I
it.
digress.
Yeah. So Dragon Age 2 came out whenever it was, and I played this game, and I think I was about 20 hours of gameplay, not 20 hours in a row, but I'd invested about 20 hours into this game, 25 hours, and it got to the point where I had made mistakes in the past that hindered me from getting any further than the point I was at.
Right.
And it was a desk flip moment. Fuck it. I'm starting over.
Rage quit.
Exactly. I literally put the game back in its case, put it in my closet, and left it there for about a month. And then one day, I think I was getting dressed, and then I saw this game up in my closet, and I was like, "You motherfucker!" Grabbed it, put it in my Xbox, and said, "I'm going to complete this game," and tried again, and failed again, and I still haven't gone back to play it. It's funny because I'm playing Dragon Age Inquisition now, and I will eventually go back and play it. But to me, a game like that, or it's like you see people playing games like Boshi, or
God, Bosch.
and his latest game, the guy who created Boshi, Solgren, his latest game, Wings of Vi, I believe it's called. It's another one of those die a billion times before you complete the game. And
Yeah.
I
Man's playing it.
yeah,
right now.
exactly. And I would love to try and play a game like Boshi. I don't even know if I would ever get past the first screen. But to me, games like that where it's you want to progress in it, you want to get further than it, this and that. I think that addiction is quite a lot different than an addiction to a game like an EverQuest, a World of Warcraft.
Yes.
I think there's definitely addictions with League of Legends as well.
Yeah.
And that's because I know people, I hired people at the golf course that were teenagers that all they did was they went to school, they worked, they played League of Legends. And even when they were at work, if there was two of them, they would discuss League of Legends together.
That's
And
exactly the same thing like I was
Yeah,
talking about
exactly.
with the students, yeah.
and BBB, thanks for tuning in. Turnover, good to see you. Arb. But a game like an MMORPG, let's use World of Warcraft for example. It's like the whole thing that went on with Avatar. And I don't know if you heard about people were going into deep depressions after Avatar came out. And
EverQuest.
no, Avatar, the movie. And the
Oh.
reason for that is because this 3D world of colors and creativity and imagination was so beautiful that their world would never be anything like it. And it was this huge article, I don't remember where it was from, but it was people were depressed because of the way Avatar was and the whole story behind it and the look of it, because it was really, Avatar was really kind of the first movie in that next wave 3D.
Yeah.
But it was like there was some people that were going to the movies every single day to watch Avatar, just so
That's
that
really
just so that they
kinda
could
strange.
just so that they could spend time in that world. And you go back to a game like World of Warcraft, there's people that play these games and they're this big strong orc warrior or whatever they are, because in the game they're this powerful being, where maybe in real life they work a shitty office job, they have no friends, they're bald and fat and missing teeth or whatever
Said when we being fat.
whatever it is. But they can go into this world and of Warcraft, and they can be who they've always wanted to be. That's not an army plug, but and I think that's a real problem that a lot of people can get entrapped with in games like that specifically.
Yeah, I could see that, and that I think also goes is the other side of where, and see, I think partly that's the draw to some of those games.
Right.
Like there's certain things about an MMO that, to me, I've never, and I come from a totally different perspective than most people with this, because I haven't ever played any MMOs.
Right.
Ever. Partially because when I hear the premise of an MMO, it does not interest me to spend that much time in it.
Right.
You know, there are other, you know, there are other things that I have as interests, or even just the way I play video games.
Yeah.
Like, there were times when I was young where you go on the video game binge and play for, you know, 6, 7, 8, 10, 9 hours,
Yeah.
kind of straight.
I'm gonna
I
stop you
don't-
there for a sec. Your Skype is going a little
Okay.
pixely and laggy. I'm gonna restart Skype and see you. Or not restart Skype, but I'll call you back
Okay.
and see if I can get a little better.